Welcome back. That's the Molino campground down there, Molino Basin. I've just left. I'm climbing up this damn thing, but to be fair, it's not gone too bad actually, even though it's hot. And that's where I'm going, look. Ooh, it's a warm one. Now this video starting at Molino Basin, and I'm probably going to end it at, excuse the wind, Colossal Cave. Right, I've got to climb up there, so I'm going to shut up and get off. And here we go. Please tell me it's downhill from here. Alright. I've not looked on my map this far, if I'm honest, so I don't remember it being really hilly. But it's definitely going to be bumpy, look. And that's where I'm heading, that mountain that you can see there. That's Mica Mountain. It's a lot closer now, isn't it? I've got to get up and over him for end of shift tomorrow. So obviously the more miles I get in today, the easier tomorrow's going to be. Yeah, that's Saguaro National Park, is that? Oh, some shade. Yes, please. Well, there's an old tank. I don't know if I've not had a look on the water report recently, so I don't know whether that's going to be carrying any. I doubt it. I've not seen any cow activity, but we'll have a look. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's a no. Well, that's where I've came from. That saddle there, look, I've worked my way down. It's a little bit cooler now, but keep going, guys. Just having a minute in the shade. See if that cooled out. Yeah, that's where I'm going tomorrow. Sun's just setting. It looks nice and benign, doesn't it? Yeah. Right, I'm about 3 miles, and then I'm going to get to a gate, and I'm going to call it a day. I'll probably cowboy camp tonight. It's nice and warm, and there's no rain on the way. It's just quicker for me to get up messing about tomorrow, because like I said, I've got to get up and over that and clear the national park, which is going to be another 25-mile day. Here. But with a bit of luck, most of that climb tomorrow will be in the shade. Hey. Oh, it's getting nice and cool now. I'm not sure how much of this you can see. I'm just I'm cowboy camping tonight. I'm just about to get into my sleeping bag. There's my mat, look, there's my ground sheet. There's the moon. There's a tree. Right. I'll see. I don't know if I'll see you in the morning to show you my pitch, because I'm going to be up early and gone, and it's probably going to be too dark again. But yep, this is where I'm keeping tonight. Good morning once again. I've been going maybe half hour, maybe a bit longer. I've just stopped back there at Reddington Pass. There's a water cache of 15 litres, so I've got more than enough water now. I couldn't video it or show you my camp this morning, it was just too dark. And that's where I'm going. That's the Saguaro National Park and Mica Mountain, or Mount Mica. Again, I've still not worked out which way it goes. I'll have to have a look on my map. But yeah, I've got 22 miles to go to get out of the national park. I'm not in it yet. And then I can camp, and I did 26 miles, just over 26 miles yesterday. A quick look back to where I've come from this morning. I'm about 4.5 miles in, and I've been, well, climbing for a good bit. Now there's my first rainbow hedgehog cactus this trip. I wish the sun was on it a bit more, then you could have really seen the gorgeous colours, but man, they're beautiful. Rincon Mountain Wilderness. We're still in the Arizona National Forest. That's some size, is that? Rincon Wilderness and Saguaro National Park pretty much bump up to each other. Yeah, slowly getting there. That sun's on me though and it's warm. Whew. There's a look back to Mount Lemon and the Santa Catalinas. Yeah, I were in them yesterday. If That's the little canyon that I kept. Well, it's not a little canyon, but let me get my finger in it. There, look. That's the entrance into the canyon. East and West Sabino Canyon. So this is the boundary of the Saguaro National Park, the northern boundary. Obviously no dispersed camping allowed. A little look back at where I've come from. Lovely views. Yeah, but when you get to my age, it's hard work. Looks like there's a trail register there. Look, I'll sign on to that. Here's another little sign, look. Reddington Road. Well, it will be 7 mile. I camped just about 0.2 of a mile before there, so yeah, I've done about 7 mile today. And the southern boundary of the national park is 16.2 mile. And Mexico 144. I'm getting there. Just stopped for a quick water break. I've not had anything to eat yet as a snack. It's about just 10 o'clock. I've got about 2.5 miles before I get to the very top of Mica. Well, not to the top of Mica Mountain, but to the top of the trail, where the trail starts to go down towards Manning Camp. The reason I'm pushing these miles the last couple of days, I think I've already explained it. If I haven't, I've sent a resupply box to Colossal Cave and they shut at 4 o'clock tomorrow. So I want to be there before 4 o'clock. So I want to get about a 24 mile, 25 mile today, which will leave me about a 10 mile hike in tomorrow. I may do a little bit more depending what time I get down off of here, because the earlier I get to Colossal Cave the better it'll be for me, because they've got charging ports, sockets, so I can charge my battery pack up. Basically that's it. I can sit and have an hour, maybe even 2 hours, and sit and charge my battery pack up. But it's hard. This is a tough part of the trail, but I'm loving it. The views are lovely and I'm getting plenty. Look at me now, gorgeous shade, absolutely gorgeous. And like I say, the higher up you get, the more shade you've got, because the sun's going over to the south. But it'll catch me on the way down, but I don't mind that. Right, onwards and upwards. Well, that's my first one on this trail that I've seen anyway. Pretty sure that's bear poop. And it's quite soft. Yeah. Hopefully you can see these. You see those two mountains in the far distance with the flat tops in the middle of the picture now? They're the mountains that you cross on the Grand Enchantment Trail. And coming more down now to the right, they're the Galiuro Mountains. And coming even further, and I've just had my map out just to double check, that mountain right in the far distance, and I thought they were because I can see there's a really thin top on it. It's got like an observatory on the top of it, and I can see it from here. You won't be able to see it on this, but that's the Penalinos. You literally cross the goddamn length of them when you're doing the Grand Enchantment Trail. That is, so I did that in snow. That got snow on it when I did it. And the other side of there is Safford, which is the last stop on the Grand Enchantment Trail in Arizona before you head off into New Mexico. So yeah. About a mile to go now till I get to the top, and I'm up into the Ponderosa pine forest now, so I've got a lot of shade, which is really nice. At last. This is as far as I go with my climbs today, thankfully. I'm now heading down there. I'm at about 10 miles for today, and I wanted to be here before 12 o'clock, and it's about 10 to, so I managed that. I've now got just short of 15 miles to go, 14.7 if my mapping's correct, to get me out of here. Because like I said before, you're not allowed to camp without a permit, and I don't have one. So Manning camp's about, I don't know, a mile and a half maybe. I'll be stopping there for a break, and I'll show you around there. Here we go. Whew. Manning camp. I'm going to sit in there in the shade. These are horse corrals. I think I'll be getting my water out of here. Unless I can find the stream. Ooh, that's nice and cold. All right. Well, that was a nice break. That water was lovely and cold. I had a good half litre of that straight down. There's another good water source in 4.5 mile at Grass Shack Campground. And then Rincon Creek's flowing as well, which is about, well, 13, 14 mile from here. I think it's just outside the boundary, which is obviously where I'm going, and that's 13.5 mile, and it's just about 1 o'clock, so, and it's nearly all downhill. I should be out of here for then. Well, not for then, before it gets dark. But like I say, I may push on a mile or two just to get into Colossal Cave early tomorrow, but we shall see. The lower down here I go, these trees will eventually fade out. I'm literally heading now down into the desert again, where I'll be getting a lot more cactus, and it'll be a lot more flatter as well. That is a great sign, and it's not just flowing gently, there's a good flow to this. Brilliant. That is where I need to be before I go to sleep tonight, down there on that big flat area. I've still got a lot of work, and those lights out there, I don't know exactly, but Vale's out there. It's a small town, but yeah, I've got to clear all these hills and mountains and get down to that flat bit. Yeah. Nearly missed you. Nearly missed you. I'll sun me down there on the flat bit. Creek looked like it's got water in it, so that's a good sign. I get some water first thing in the morning. Sun's just dropped down behind those mountains. That's the one I want. Saguaro National Park boundary, 0.8 of a mile. Yep. Right, that is it. 7 o'clock. And I've just about got, well, I've got just over 25 in. There's the park entrance, this there. Oh, you won't be able to see. So the first camp spot I see, I am going to use. Well, this is where I camped last night. Big mistake. I'm only about 30-40 foot from a creek. I should have known better, because look at all this. I don't think pick this up. Look how wet that is. My sleeping bag is soaked. All the damp moisture from the little river or the creek. I'm going to dry that out when I get to Colossal Cave, I hope. This is where I camp, look. Literally just this little old dry bed just above the river. Well, that's another memory for me. That's where I camped 3 years ago. Lovely campsite as well, only $10. It's got its own toilet, it's got a water faucet. Not far to go now to Colossal Cave. And I need to dry my bag out. Oh, I don't know whether you could see how wet it was on the photo, the video this morning. But man, I'm just hoping it's not soaked through into the down. And there's my first view of Colossal Cave in 3 years. And there's Eva drying a tent out on the wall, if you can see her. My sleeping bag will be joining that shortly.